Okay, so hello, welcome to the Afterlife podcast, life after prison. It's not going to be so much. I mean, because I've run out of armed robbery stories now. I've been out of prison for 10 years, 12 years.
12 years.
12 years now.
12 years this year.
Yeah, I've told my whole story front to back, and also the build up to it and why I ended up in prison. So yeah, we thought that if I was going to continue this, it may as well be an Afterlife podcast.
Yeah.
And how it won't always be prison related, but just dealing with day-to-day stuff. Because we've had quite a stressful last couple of weeks, haven't we?
It really has been.
So for those of you who haven't heard before, this is my lovely wife, Jessica.
Hiya.
She has joined me on a couple of the diary podcasts I did on YouTube, and we thought we would continue on this vein and just let everybody have a little bit of insight into what's been going on in the last few weeks. So, obviously we've been doing these podcasts, and the crime ones have been doing very well over the last few days. So hello to everyone who's new listening and joining me on Instagram. Thank you very much for moving over. This podcast is only going to be on Instagram. This episode will be on YouTube as well. But after that, it's only going to be on Instagram moving forward. And we'll just stick to prison stories on YouTube. So, do you want to kick off? What pissed you off in the last couple of weeks?
Basically, friends, or so-called friends, taking the piss. And taking me for what I felt like was taking me for a mug.
Yeah.
Because I'm too good to them.
And how did that make you feel?
I felt betrayed, and I felt like I was being taken a piss out of.
Yeah. So what happened?
I run a little business, and somebody who I knew ordered an item, so I made said item, gave it to them, and they failed to pay me, and still haven't paid me, and they've had it a while. They've had it, I think, nearly 2 months.
Yeah.
At the beginning of June, and keeps fobbing me off with the same story. Oh yeah, I'm skin. I'll pay you next week, and next week comes along, and nothing. So that's incredibly frustrating and annoying. And another friend who I was very good to and lent money to when they had no money because they didn't have much wages, lent her money, and she just basically ignored me when I've asked if she's alright to pay it back, which I don't think is unreasonable.
Yeah.
And she's just been very childish about it, to be honest.
Yeah. And obviously that had an effect on you, and and you said it made you feel kind of that you were being mugged off, and
it bothered me for days. It really bothered me, and it just kind of came to a head the other day when it just upset me that I just felt like these people were just saw me as a soft touch,
yeah.
and I'd fallen for it, and I'm not like that normally. I'm not. I think I'm a pretty good judge of character, and they fooled me, and that's as well, which is annoying.
Yeah.
I've been fooled and betrayed all at once. I've basically had my pants pulled down in front of me. That's how I feel. So yeah, it's been very. It's taken up a lot of my thought space this week. It's been playing on my mind quite a lot. And when things play on my mind a lot, I need to do something about it. So I went to see her, didn't I? I just said, look, I was really polite to her, and I said, look, through messages, you need to, pay me back. And I said, I've been good enough to you to help you out when you're in a sticky situation, and you just ignore me, and I just said, I don't understand it. So, she's just acted very childish about it, and not even said sorry, which is even more of a dig in the back,
Yeah.
that you've helped them out, and you don't even get a thank you.
Yeah.
And it's horrible. These people are shitbags.
These people are shitbags. And yeah, they just walk through life just being shitbags. And they'll always feel like something's happening to them. Like
Yeah.
because I mean, you know, my bad week ties in with this bad week. So last week, I know I work in a kind of sales role, and the people, you know, it's becoming more and more grating on me. This job in this office, it's a bit of a zoo in there. You know, I can handle, you know, sales roles and things and environments, but it is a bit of a zoo. There's a lot of people in there who wouldn't be able to work in a lot of other places, and probably me included. And I've just found it a bit more grating than usual. And people have seen my my Instagram posts. I've talked about you know, snapping and having to go at my supervisor a couple of times, and you know, this is something that's been quite normal throughout my other jobs. Is that you know, as soon as I'm tested or kind of pushed a little bit, sometimes in the wrong direction where I don't want to go, I fall back on my aggression and my loudness. And quite often in an office environment, there's very little in the way of people to stop me. And yeah, you know, within a few months, I'm quietly shown the door. So yeah, no, this has happened a couple of times this week, and I've been unable to kind of really, you know, get on top of it, and I felt, you know, a little bit down. I've been training. I've been struggling to trying to, you know, get it out of my head in the evenings by going out for runs. And, you know, I went out for a 20-minute run the other day just doing hill running, and ended up training, just carrying on for like over half an hour just because I couldn't stop processing it.
You've been troubled as well. It's bothered you.
It really has. It really has. And I've been bringing it, you know, it's been, you know, the whole job I do, and, you know, just the people around me, and, you know, money factors as well, because obviously, you know, I'm not earning as much as I used to, so there's pressures on that, and, you know, that means that then it knocks on to personal life, so I can't, you know, get some of the luxury items I want. So I've got a sleeve tattoo sort of in progress at the moment, and I had a tattoo booked in, and obviously because of the pandemic and everything, I should have had 2 tattoos last year, 2 sessions, and I only ended up getting one of them because the dates kept pushed back. I had it booked in December, and then obviously we had another lockdown in December, so it got pushed back, and then I had it booked in for next week. But just because, for the simple fact, I'm just not earning the money I used to. I just can't afford to do it now. So I've had to cancel it, and I just really felt like it really took a hit. All these things just piling up on me this week and the last 2 weeks. And I don't have very good coping mechanisms. So I only kind of really know to, like I say, to deal with problems with being loud and aggressive. And I can stop myself a lot of the time, but then when I'm put under stress, I've been breaking.
You've been quite loud and aggressive
in general
this couple of weeks.
And then when it came to seeing you yesterday, and I phoned you at work, we had a little video chat, and I could just see you looking so dejected, and it just really bothered me. So I ended up going back to the old things that I used to do. So I just thought that, right, I'm going to be loud and aggressive and get this money back for you. And I ended up, what did we end up fucking, because this friend of yours said that if we went round to their house, then it would be a problem because they live in a shared house with their landlord, and they'd end up out on the streets. And I saw that as a, fairly equal punishment for fucking us over. So in my tunnel visionness, we went straight over there, and I made a scene in front of the landlord to make sure that the repercussions were then felt for this little shitbag who owed us money. And that was my intentions, and that is what I set out to do. And that's stupid and childish, and how I would have behaved before, not how I should be behaving now. And it's a backward step. It was a real backward step yesterday.
It was.
Because I mean, and even to the point where I even thought it out. So I did nothing. I did zero illegal. You know, I didn't make any threats along those lines, and I wasn't a public nuisance. I couldn't have even been arrested. It would have been a civil matter the whole time if the police turned up. But it's the fact that I just even thought that. I literally drew a line in my head and was like, right, I'm gonna go as far as this. When I should have just been sat at home, not giving a fuck about it. You know.
She didn't give a fuck.
Exactly.
Let's be honest, she didn't give a fuck.
So yeah, I just thought that yeah, fuck it, why not? But that's a stupid thing to do.
Yeah, it was dumb. It was dumb.
So yeah, so we just got to learn from it and move on. The things I'm going to take from it really is I just have to just put these things to one side. It's just doing nothing in a lot of instances is probably just the best thing for me, because it's just my bullshit way of dealing with things is just fucking not not acceptable. And the fact that I've decided to stop smoking weed this week as well. I've decided, you know, I have real problems stopping smoking weed. You know, every time I've stopped in the past, I've started again. I don't think I've lasted more than a month.
You did well, to be fair.
Yeah.
To stop for a month.
It must have something like 2 or 3 weeks, and then I just thought, oh, I'll celebrate by just having a smoke in the evening, or I'll just have a smoke one weekend, and then it just, like, I think you got some particularly good weed or something, and I just smoked, and then I just carried on. And it's just not stopped. And obviously, you know, I'm still smoking, well, up until this week, so it hasn't, you know, I've never stopped so far. But it's really difficult. Now, I've never smoked tobacco, so I don't know, but it's just so frustrating when you stop smoking weed. Like, your whole body itches. The withdrawals are hellish.
I hated stopping smoking tobacco. Like, cigarettes was a fucking nightmare, honestly. I would quit smoking weed over stopping smoking fags.
Okay, is it worse?
It's fucking horrible.
Oh, okay.
So all you can think about 24/7 is I need a fucking cigarette. Oh my god, I need a fag. I don't know what it is. Just even just one, you're like, oh, that's mine. Thank you.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's just the smell or just the action, but I did like it. I used to miss it. I don't miss it now. It's disgusting. Yeah, no, stopping smoking is a fucking nightmare.
For me, it's like smoking weed. It's just the whole, because it's so much of my life. Like, so everything's better when you're smoking weed. Like, food tastes better. You know, like, films are funnier. Just outside is better.
Everything's better.
Everything's better. But you are just walking around like a dopey moron all the time.
It took a chest infection for me to stop smoking.
Yeah.
And then till I started vaping. And then it took me to have a really bad cough for me to stop vaping. That's how I stopped.
Yeah.
Not because I wanted to. It's because my body was rejecting it. It was like, you can't keep doing this to me.
I know. So so I think my life is rejecting weed now. I don't think my body's rejecting it. I think it's just my life's rejecting it, because I'm putting so many things to the side while I just sit back and get high. You know, I've come to, you know, I'm working dead end sales jobs because I haven't taken on a new skill in the last 10 years. You know, I've been using weed as a kind of a patch for a lot of the problems I've got. Like, so I've got no coping mechanisms other than weed. You know, so the fact that I saw you upset yesterday wound me up. If I'd had a smoke, then I probably would have calmed down and been better. And I wouldn't have wanted to storm round and get her evicted. But
I hope she doesn't get evicted.
I know. But it's just one of those things. Like, she's not our problem.
But then he said that she owed him loads of money as well, so...
Yeah, exactly. She's a shitbag. She's going through life doing shitbag things. And she'll be fine. Someone will feel sorry for her and take her on. And then she'll fuck them over as well.
Yeah, that's true.
But, you know, that's just that circle. So, you know, as much as I feel like I regret the things, you know, what I did, I don't feel bad for doing it in that sense. Like,
No.
I just shouldn't have done it. That was my problem.
Yeah.
And my problems quickly become the community's problems.
You said to me last night about that guy down the road, the nonce, and you said when you'd gone down there to ask about my phone.
Oh yeah.
And that, the guys know about that from like previous episodes.
Yeah.
And you said, oh, when the police, the police come and spoke to you, like, oh, you've upset him. What, you? Like, God, you proper pissed him off if he's come round.
Yeah, because so the nonce went to the police and said that I'd been all aggressive in his kitchen, and gave them my name. And the police kind of warned him, not me. That's not a good idea that he knows you're a sex offender.
I haven't seen you that angry yesterday in a very long time.
Yeah.
And I will be honest, I think if I said to you, I wanted to say to you, I don't think going round there is a good idea.
I don't think you're a good idea.
I don't think you would have fucking snapped.
I'd already snapped, but I was just in tunnel vision. Like I say, it was.
I don't think there was any talking to you last night.
The problem is I know exactly what it is. It's going back to that time of just being in prison and someone's wronged you, and you just have to explosively make sure that everyone knows you're not a mug, and that's again my weakness. It's my fallback. And especially when I'm under pressure and I'm not dealing with things properly, that was the worst of me, and it bubbled away last night again because it's a combination of me being under sort of stress from work and things, and my stress levels being exacerbated from not smoking weed, and the fact that I saw you being upset about the fact that she'd borrowed money and then not paid us back. So all of those things kind of just piling on top of me made me just not cope in a way that I should have done.
Yeah.
In a kind of, what would Will Smith do? And that's how I live a lot of my life, just thinking like, what would Will Smith do? I think we've got the name of the episode. If anyone doesn't know who Will Smith is, no. I don't mean there's a person on the planet who doesn't know who Will Smith is.
Fuck.
He's that white guy. So I mean, the things I'm going to take away from that is that the fact I need to be more monk-like, just do nothing at all, will be better than the decisions that I make when I'm under pressure and stressed.
Yeah.
Someone mentioned in the thing before that in my comments, sorry. He's messaged me actually, and he said about when you're training your body, your mind will quit first. So you need to strengthen your mind. You need to put as much sort of emphasis on strengthening your mind as well as your body, because it's your mind that's going to quit first. And it's the same with a lot of things. And again, that's always been my fallback towards drugs. I never really had a problem with alcohol. I've never been a massive drinker. We just drink. We drink too much rum sometimes.
Drink. Yeah, we take lots of shots.
But,
shots of rum.
Yeah, it's
pirates.
Not, exactly, it's not a problem like that.
No.
But it's I've always in the early days it would have been cocaine, and then every Friday and Saturday night I'd be taking pills and things to kind of escape from it. And it's it's all trauma and past bullshit. And that rucksack of bollocks that comes from prison, and the stuff that happens in your life and things when.
I think as well, because when I was younger, I mean, I feel like I had a fucking horrible childhood. Put it that way. School was really difficult. I hated school, and I was always picked on and always bullied and everything. And I think it comes from why I was so bothered, because I'm not that person anymore. I'm not a little scared little girl that won't say anything. Like I won't have it. If somebody's done me wrong, then it sits and it bothers me, and it did. And it bothered me for like just progressively for over a week. And I just felt like no, I can't. I was gonna say something to her. But like, what do you say to somebody? You just feel like, oh my God, you cunted me off.
Yeah.
It's the only way I can describe it.
And then when you saw her, she just told you to fuck off.
Yeah, the first thing she said was, fuck off. I'm like, come on, fucking grow up.
Exactly, and that's the thing. And you know, I should have been more grown up. She should have been more grown up. And the whole situation was fucking wrong. But it's a life lesson, and it's a way, you know, it's a
lesson learnt, man, definitely.
But you know, like you said afterwards, you know, the worst that actually happened was an exchange of words.
It was just an exchange of words.
So, I mean, if you're going to look at, you know, the lifespan of William Bonney, and the fact that
I didn't shout at her. I didn't even swear at her. No, I think I did actually. I said, "Sort your fucking life out."
But you know, the old me would have been a lot more fucking
punchy,
reckless, and probably wouldn't have, you know, because we went to walk a dog in between, you know, threatening to go round there and actually going round there. You know, we've got responsibilities now. We
help people out.
Yeah. So I had a frown the whole time I was walking around with the dog.
You were spicy.
Exactly. So, you know, the way I grow from that is you know, go down this path of doing nothing at all, to save myself from myself. And obviously, hopefully, once the withdrawals from weed have worn off, and I can then start looking at better coping mechanisms for dealing with stress and pressure situation.
Do you think what do you think would help?
More blowjobs.
Brilliant.
You giving me blowjobs rather than me sucking people off. I don't think that'll help with stress in any way.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I'm fairly sure. I don't need to try. We've been watching Ross Kemp tonight, and what was it? Some Scottish jail, Ballinilly or whatever it was.
HMP Ballinilly.
He's a really good guy, and it's funny because funny enough, that whole prison episode was basically my podcast.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's been watching me and doing mine, but it's it's just I'll put the link in the description, and have a look at it because it's a great view of prison from top to bottom, and he even goes and interviews a sex offender, and I don't know how he doesn't dive across the table at him.
He was fucking horrible. It genuinely made me feel sick.
Yeah.
It turned my stomach what he said. It was absolutely horrible.
Yeah, so
people like him don't deserve to be on this planet. Like,
there was
keeping him in prison. They need to have a fucking lethal injection. There
was a guy in the comments, I think he commented this morning on one of the YouTube videos about, I think it was probably the sex offenders one, and he said in there about, you know, everyone is human, you know, and everyone deserves a chance to kind of change. And this was an 89-year-old sex offender, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Who said that he can't be rehabilitated and he can't be changed, and
he enjoyed looking at the photos.
Yeah.
And the most chilling thing, he said that the kids looked like they were enjoying themselves.
I know, fucking hell.
That's what fucking turned my stomach. That somebody could say that.
And these, obviously, we don't need to talk about what, you know, is going to be on these images, but every one of those is a fucking ruined life. And the fact that these people just watch it with impunity, get months in prison, if they ever go to prison at all, and like you say, they can just fucking make these excuses. It's disgusting. And unfortunately, like I said, the lad in the comments said that, you know, they are just people, and it's just a view I don't think I'm ever going to change. There's some people that we really do need the death penalty for in this country.
Bloody right.
Because it's a fucking there is just evil out there, and it's undeniable. There always has been, and to say that people can always change and be rehabilitated, and that someone in their 50s or 60s may be fucking, you know, a different man from when they're in their 30s, but, you know, he just proves the point. They're getting into his 90s and he's going to be no different, and he's probably out there now. That's the worst fucking thing. He's probably out and about now in your community.
But it was such a shock for a man of that age. You think, like I said, old men like that, like your granddad.
Yeah.
You don't think of them as being disgusting monsters like that.
I know, but I suppose young monsters turn into old monsters, don't they? I mean, it's just...
They've always been around.
Yeah.
But it's just... it was just horrible.
He does really good documentaries, that Ross Kemp. I think I don't think we've missed any of them from any, right from when he was going around the world with the drug dealers and stuff, the cocaine guys in South America. And do you remember when he was in? Was it like the Mexican one? And there was a police raid. Like the police raided the building he was in. I think there was a shootout with the police or something. He was up on the roof. It was just nuts. Yeah, I mean.
And those Colombian drug dealers as well.
Yeah.
Do you remember they were like putting it on him?
Yeah, tried to rob him. He just held the gun. His nails. Him and Phil used to hang around in Cornwall a bit, actually. I think. Yeah, Phil Mitchell, the other one.
Oh, right, yeah.
Oh, not my mate Phil.
I was going to say, what?
Yeah, no, not my mate Phil. No, Phil Mitchell.
I've seen him in Trago.
Brilliant.
I genuinely have. With, do you remember his on-screen missus, the one who shot him?
Yeah.
I seen her as well.
They're not together anymore, though, are they?
No.
Oh.
Yeah, they're in Trago.
People you see in Trago. That'll be another podcast we do. And for anyone who doesn't know what Trago is, you need to Google it. It's a Cornish institution.
It really is. It's a day out for some people.
So yeah, that's been our couple of weeks really, and it's been stressful, it's been difficult, and it's broke me in some stages. I was going to quit my job. I was going to hand in my notice tomorrow, but it would be reckless because I haven't got anything to go to at the minute. They generally just sort of let you go, and they pay you for your week's notice. So I would have a week of looking for a job, and then I'd be on my ass. And YouTube's not paying just yet. So and I haven't finished the book. Parkinson hasn't been on the phone, so yeah, I've got to stick it out for a bit longer until I can fucking find something else. So that's what I'm going to be doing this weekend, is applying for other jobs to get my fucking ass out of there, so I can not be on the verge of murdering people all the time. That might be a good step forward.
It's been difficult. It's been really difficult.
It has. So, yeah, I know it seems like a bit of a ranting session, but it's all, it all does tie in. I don't have coping mechanisms other than cocaine. I don't have coping mechanisms other than being, loud and violent and fucking annoying and a shitbag. And I'm trying. And I'm 90% better than when I came out of prison.
Jesus, you would have been acted completely differently if you'd just come out of prison. You'd have gone back in prison, probably.
Yeah, so, I can't complain too much about that last 5 or 10% that we haven't broke off yet, because it'll be gone in the next 2 years. Three and a half, maybe 4 years. So, yeah, thank you very much for listening, people. They will get more interesting, I promise, and less whiny. But no, I doubt they will. But yeah, thank you very much for listening. And if you would like to, think of anything you'd like us to talk about, then please do put it in the comments. If you're listening on YouTube, you need to go over to William Bonney 838 on Instagram. This is where it's going to be from now on, and you'll see a bit more of my daily life, just bumbling through, and stuff about Cornwall, the beautiful county I'm from. Anything else to say? No.
I'm good. No. Sorry, my voice went all funny. No, I'm good. Thanks, my lovely. I think we've covered it all.
Good.
I'd just like to add that although we handled yesterday, not as best as we can, we aren't shitbags. We're good people.
We were the wronged ones.
We
just kicked off about being wronged. And
yeah.
Probably could have done better.
Yeah.
So yeah, thank you very much for listening. We'll see you again soon.